Imagine a machine that doesn't just move you from point A to point B, but rips the very air apart with its presence, a beast that announces itself before it even comes into view. The Benelli BN600 is not just a motorcycle, it's a roaring testament to Italian design fused with raw performance, a weapon on two wheels that makes every street feel like your personal racetrack. The moment you see it, those aggressive lines, that muscular stance, the way the frame wraps around the engine like a predator protecting its heart, you know this isn't a ride for the faint of heart. This is a machine for those who understand that riding isn't about reaching a destination, it's about owning every second of the journey. The BN600 stands as Benelli's declaration to the middleweight street fighter segment. They can blend style, performance, and character in a way that turns heads and demands respect. Underneath that sculpted tank sits a 600cc inline-4 engine. Yes, you heard right, a 4-cylinder symphony in a market drowning in twins and singles. That engine delivers around 82 horsepower, which might not sound like a fire-breathing monster on paper, but once you crack the throttle and hear that unique Benelli exhaust note, a sound that's halfway between a superbike's scream and a muscle bike's growl, you'll understand that numbers are just numbers. This bike delivers its power in a way that's smooth, controlled, yet utterly intoxicating when you decide to push it. On the road, the BN600 feels planted, confident, and agile. The chassis is a combination of a steel trellis frame and aluminum components, giving it the perfect balance of rigidity and weight distribution. The suspension setup is a 50mm upside-down Marzocchi front fork and a Sachs rear monoshock, giving it that plush yet sporty ride that absorbs the chaos of rough streets but still begs you to dive hard into corners. The braking system is all business. Dual 320mm floating discs at the front with radial mount calipers and a 240mm disc at the rear, ensuring that stopping power is never a concern, even when you're unleashing its full potential. And let's talk design, because the BN600 doesn't just ride like an Italian, it looks like one. Those sharp angular panels, the exposed frame painted in contrasting colors, the sleek under-seat exhausts that scream premium craftsmanship, this bike is art you can ride. Every detail feels purposeful, from the aggressive headlamp cluster to the wide handlebars that give you commanding control. Even the instrument cluster blends analog and digital readouts for that perfect mix of classic and modern. This is a bike you can park anywhere and watch as people stop, stare, and maybe even pull out their phones to snap a picture. Now, here's where it gets even better. The BN600 often surprises riders because, for an inline-4 Italian machine, its price isn't live on some unreachable mountain peak. Depending on the market, you can find it around $7,000 to $8,000 for a new one, and if you hunt the used market, you'll see deals that make it almost criminal not to buy. That's the beauty here. You're getting the sound, the feel, the performance, and the style of something that looks like it should cost twice as much. It's the ultimate, how is this even possible, purchase for riders who want soul without selling their own. But the BN600's magic isn't just in the obvious. It's in the hidden features, the little engineering touches that only become apparent when you live with the bike. That 4-cylinder engine is tuned not just for top-end speed but for mid-range torque, meaning you get a satisfying punch of acceleration even when you're not wringing it out to redline. The seat, despite the bike's aggressive styling, is surprisingly comfortable for longer rides, and the ergonomics hit that sweet spot between sporty and upright so you can attack twisties all morning and still ride home in comfort. The undertail exhausts aren't just there for looks. They help centralize mass, improving handling and making the bike feel lighter in motion than its actual weight. And then there's the way it makes you feel. The BN600 has a personality. It's not a sterile, clinical machine that simply obeys your commands. It growls when you rev it. It surges forward with eagerness when you lean on the throttle, and it rewards smooth riding with an almost telepathic connection between you and the road. This isn't just transportation. It's an experience, a relationship, a partnership between man and machine where both sides contribute to the thrill. You don't ride it, you dance with it. For riders who have been stuck on smaller displacement bikes and want to step up into something with more muscle but without jumping into leader bike insanity, the BN600 is a perfect bridge. It's forgiving enough for newer big bike riders to handle without fear, but capable enough to entertain experienced riders who know how to exploit its strengths. And that inline-4 note. Once you've heard it echo through a tunnel at full song, you'll never go back to anything else. When you think about what makes a motorcycle memorable, it's not just speed or power, it's the moments it creates. The BN600 gives you those moments every time you ride. The moment when you downshift into a corner and hear the engine snarl. The moment when you pull up at a light and catch someone staring at it like it just rolled out of a dream. The moment when you realize that the ride you took just for a few minutes has turned into hours because you couldn't stop exploring. Owning a BN600 is not just about having a motorcycle, it's about making a statement. It tells the world you care about style but refuse to compromise on substance. It says you appreciate performance, but you also value comfort and everyday usability. It's proof that you can have Italian engineering and flair without draining your bank account. And most importantly, it's a reminder that riding is supposed to be fun. Not just fast, not just efficient, but genuinely, soul-shakingly fun. So, if you're ready to move beyond the ordinary and step into a realm where every ride feels like a scene from your own personal movie, the Benelli BN600 is waiting. It's a bike that doesn't beg for attention, it commands it. It doesn't whisper, it roars. It doesn't just get you there, it makes getting there the best part of your day. And once you've felt that engine come alive beneath you, once you've leaned into a corner and trusted it completely, once you've parked it and looked back just to admire it one more time, you'll understand. The BN600 isn't just a motorcycle. It's a promise. A promise that every ride will matter, that every road will be yours, and that every time you swing a leg over it, you'll remember exactly why you fell in love with motorcycles in the first place.